Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch with our 62 followers on Twitch. I found out for the first time. I haven't logged into that website in like...
What's up, guys?
Yo!
Twitch. We used to have one Twitch follower that we met about 6 years ago. And then I haven't looked at Twitch since. But I looked today. I was like, we have 62 followers?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we should...
It's like
you know what we should do?
Water and it just thrives for no reason.
You know what we should do? We should go on Twitch and we should just play like Blades of Steel one night.
I think we should.
I've been saying that for... Oh, dude, we said that a long time ago, you and I.
I know.
I would 1,000... Actually, back at Tavern on the Rocks, I think, we were doing a live podcast. And we said we were going to try to do like a live event where we're going to play like Blades of Steel or NHL 94.
Let's do it. Blades of Steel. Let's do Blades of Steel.
I have access to both. We can definitely do that.
I've got Blades of Steel. I got Blades of Steel in my original Nintendo in my living room right now.
Yeah, buddy, dude, I got to.
I don't know if there's a way to stream an original.
Steven Angle, you're totally right. We're on time, bro.
Yeah, we're on time.
We were here on time at 9:00, ready to rock and roll. But then we just got caught up in conversation. We haven't seen each other in a little while, and you know, Shorts guy was smoking a pipe, so we said,
"It was."
He spun us a tale like an old sailor. A seagull came in and landed on his shoulder, and then afterwards I
was reeling in the biggest fish you've ever seen.
Yes, and
then out of nowhere,
a shark came up from underneath and took a hunk out of the side of him. And then all of a sudden, it's the old man in the sea, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Do you want to explain the pipe?
Oh, yeah, it's just something that Shrimp from Hockey and Tap got all of us since he is expecting. So
that's a good thing. I
now have a pipe. I know. I've never smoked a pipe before, and it makes me look more sophisticated. And now that I'm becoming a little bit more gray in the beard, it makes me look a little bit more knowledgeable, and then I can pontificate on things a lot more in a much more serious way. The next step is sewing patches on my jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
right
not
on
only...
the elbows.
Yep.
Don't wear those elbows out.
Oh yeah. I will not only ruin one jacket, I'll ruin two.
You know what? Schwim should have been given out.
I gotcha.
I hope so.
And Crew Brew. Yes, and
Crew Brew.
Yeah, joinourcrew.com for the latest updates of our big tailgate.
We got updates.
Yeah, we revealed it on the Woo Report last week. Lot M2. M is in Marty, the number 2.
M2.
Marty Brendan Smith. That's, I don't know if anybody else does this. It's probably common, but if you're a sports fan, if I have to remember a combination, it's always like players' names.
Yep.
Or if I'm like, all right, I'm looking at something, I'm like, all right, this, and this. It's always like, all right, Marty, Danico, Stevens, and it's just whatever the combination is. But
no, I'm right there with you.
Well, boys, in our sophisticated way, with our sophisticated pipes, we are approaching the second half of the season, and I have to tell you, Jesper Bratt, it was good to see him in the All-Star game. Listen, the All-Star game is fun. It's whatever. It's whatever for me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan of the All-Star game like I used to be when I was younger in any sport. I used to do like every sport. I had to watch it. Like I'd do a home run derby, NFL, all of them. I'd watch them religiously. But then there's so much TV coverage. It kind of washes out the whole principle or the idea of why we have All-Star games. So I don't know. This one was, I felt like Nikita Kucherov watching it, just kind of casually walking through and not really trying his best in the skills competition.
He's Gen
but
Z.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's over, and now we get back to business, and it looks like hopefully we're going to start to get some bodies back on the bench.
Hopefully. I got a couple
Some
comments.
bums in a seat.
I got a couple comments about that All-Star game. One, congratulations on Toronto for finally winning a championship. It's been since '67 since they've won anything, and they've finally won a trophy in hockey. So good for Toronto. Two, we were having the very similar conversation. I was watching the game with Billy Dean and Little Steve from Hockey on Tap yesterday, and we were having the same conversation about like is it just that we loved it as a kid and now we don't? But the NHL has also messed with the All-Star game format so much. You look back on some of the old games and it's like, wow, this is a little bit more exciting. And same thing for this. The highlight of my weekend used to be watching the Super Skills, and then they've completely changed the Super Skills. And this year's it was boring as anything until the greatest players on the ice took the ice, and that was the goalies. It wasn't until the goalies actually got on the ice and they did something with the goalies that it got exciting. All the other, hardest shot is always cool, but it's not like we have L.A. with a mullet and a bald spot, blazing 108 miles per hour or whatever.
Yeah.
With a wooden stick. Those days are gone. But the only really
with a skullet, nonetheless.
Yeah,
by
with
the way.
a skullet. Yeah, right.
Wicked skullet.
But it seemed to be like I don't know. To me, like I know they're all hockey skills what they're doing, but it seemed like the real true hockey competition in that Super Skills was when it was one-on-one with the goalies. That seemed to be like the one true hockey
that was the
game
best
skill, and that was the best part of it. And that was the only part of the Super Skills that I was actually captivated by. And then a huge shout out to Justin Bieber for looking like an idiot in that jacket too. He looked like a moron. That was so annoying.
I'm not a fashionista in any way, but
I am not either.
Someone should pull him aside and be like, dude, you look like a schmuck. Like, you look like an absolute schmuck. By the way, Ted, come on, bro. He said, Sam, Nick, and Shorts Guy, do you want Adam Henrique back? I could ask Nick for you if you want me to. I know white guys with glasses and beards, we all look the same, but I am not Nick.
Oh, wow. By the way, for those that are wondering,
and crew getting mislabeled as Nick.
And crew, man.
Seriously.
By the way, for those that are wondering where Scotty is on assignment right now. He's at the Grammy Awards.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. He's his real job. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging out with celebrities and Dua Lipa and all that kind of stuff. Good for him.
Yeah, they, SiriusXM came to us, said, hey, we got a scheduling conflict. Could we have Scotty? And I said, all right. But we want Scotty. You got us next time. So.
Yeah, seriously. It was for future considerations that we allowed them to borrow Scotty for the night.
Yeah. To answer your question, though, about Adam Henrique, would I want him back? Hell and yes. But the caveat to that is it can't cost a lot. Like, I'm not giving you a second rounder or a first rounder or anything crazy to get Adam Henrique back, especially because he's a pending UFA.
Yeah.
The one thing I do not, and for the love of God, please, hockey gods and everybody up and wherever you are, whoever controls the fate of humanity in the hockey world, do not let Adam Henrique get traded to the New York Rangers, because I will actually throw up all over everything. That would be
a rumor. Tis a rumor.
I know. Well, he's one of the. Listen, to be all honest, he's one of the top centermen that's available. Put it that way.
Yes.
Right. So he's having a little bit of an off year. It's not statistically, he's not having like a fantastic.
Everyone in Anaheim is having an off year.
Yeah.
Anaheim as a whole is having an off year.
Even the whole city, the Angels, them. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're a part of it. You're having an off year.
They lost Ohtani to the Dodgers. Like that would be like losing Brodeur in his prime to the Rangers. Like, holy hell!
And L.A. lost the World Cup to MetLife Stadium, that jail cell.
Good.
Welcome to Jersey. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So yeah, Adam Henrique would be great. I mean, listen, the second half is going to be. I think it's going to be exciting. You got a lot of guys coming back today. Siegenthaler, Jack, and somebody else were skating, as according to Amanda Stein. So you got a lot of guys that are starting to make their way back. Eric Halla is back from paternity leave, so he should be available to play. I know Hataka's coming back. He was recalled by the Devils, so probably means that Brendan Smith, and I'm stealing a lot of these notes from our good friend Scotty, because even though he's not here physically, he is here spiritually. And
he's always on point. He's always on point.
He's always on point, and he's always a good note taker. So Hataka's going to be coming back. Listen, what needs to happen right now is they need to get healthy. They need to get into a good rhythm. They need to start doing that like 3-1, 4-1 kind of thing, like winning 4 in a row, losing 1, getting to a good groove. Because right now, the crazy thing is there's 7 points, if I'm correct, there's 7 points out of a wild card spot, but they're only 4 spots out of third in the Metro. So the Flyers sit at third in the Metro.
You mean 4 points?
Yeah. So the Flyers sit at 56 points, and the Devils sit at 51. 5 points. My bad. I can't do simple math right now.
I can't either. Don't worry.
So they're 5 points out of third place in the Metro, but they're also 7 points out of that second wild card spot.
Yeah.
So they need to start doing something, because
I've been saying this all along. I've been saying it all along. It's the damn these games that we're losing that we have at hand. It's going to come back to bite us if we don't start winning them, and this is where it's starting to pile up, because luckily a lot of other teams in our division are losing, and the Metro is just like a pile of garbage right now. Everyone's losing, thankfully. Otherwise, we'd be deeper and deeper in a hole. But we gotta turn it around like tomorrow.
Yeah.
For Tuesday, like it's gotta stop. The bleeding has got to stop, like today.
And the not enough. I want to be able to say, Short Sky, you can finally take that down, or the not good enough. By the way, this red hat,
yeah.
I see a lot of people commenting on it. I got this at the stadium, not in the Devil's Den downstairs, but the one on the main concourse. Mm-hmm. So the one there where they have all the high school jerseys hanging up, that's where I found it. But here's the thing. I bought a black one, an all black hat like this with the red logo at that store. I got this one at that store, but they show up and then boom, once they're there, they're gone. So that one has better hats than the one downstairs. So if you're looking for a good hat,
yes.
Always go to the one upstairs. But they'll come and go. And then when you ask, like, hey, can you get more of these? They're like, no. But
they don't know,
because it is the outdoor game.
They may have more.
And this one doesn't have any patches on the side or anything like that. I think this was like they were kind of like teasing.
You're not even gonna be able to buy the jersey with the patch on it. You have to buy the patch separately and get it attached yourself.
So stupid.
And they're not even gonna have. They're not even going to have Adidas. I called the NHL store today, and I asked them, like, you can have Adidas Authentics tomorrow at the jersey drop. And they're like, well, we're supposed to get them, but we don't know. And we don't get deliveries until noon. So you might want to call back tomorrow, like, at 2. I was like, I'm like, what the? I'm like, you're going to have Fanatics? They're like, yeah, we'll have Fanatics tomorrow. I'm like, of course you're going to have Fanatics. You're going to have the crappy one, but you're not going to have the good one. It's like, once again, greatest sport, worst league.
Yeah, and I don't know, but is this a Fanatics issue or is this a NHL issue? It's probably a league issue.
Because it's the same thing with the Sharks jersey. The Sharks jersey, they just dropped. Those Authentics are not going to be due until the 20th of February. You knew these jerseys were in the pipeline. There's no way that these jerseys just got designed and approved and sent to manufacture 3 weeks ago.
I tell you what, it's all politics, because
I know.
The conspiracy theories that I've come up with, why that is. Fanatics is ahead of the line. Suddenly there's supply chain issues. That excuse doesn't, it's not in today's world.
Nope.
Maybe 2
Not
years
anymore.
ago.
2 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
3 years ago, yes. A year ago, maybe. Other than that, no. That's so stupid. They want you in
And
Fanatics. They don't want you in Adidas.
And Danelle, to answer your question, like I am 1,000% going to buy the jersey, but I'm pretty sure the sales that open up tomorrow are not for the general public. I think you have to be a black and red member to be able to purchase a jersey, if I'm not mistaken.
You do. No, that's
So you have to
Tuesday.
be-
Tuesday. That's Tuesday.
Oh.
Tuesday the 6th. You have to be a black and red member to get it on Tuesday, and then the general public will have them availability on the 7th, whatever is left. So yeah, if you're black and red, or if you go to the NHL store tomorrow.
And yeah, I would love for this jersey to be the replacement for the jersey, but guess what's not going to happen? The jersey has grown on me. It 100%. Like I hated it when it first came out, but I don't mind it. Guess what's not going to happen? That jersey is going to stay around for quite some time because it's created by certain people within the organization that are going to take.
They did a lot of this.
Big giant pat.
Do a lot of this
on the back.
about that jersey.
Yep. We did so good. We did so much mark. And the thing is we've talked about this ad nauseum. That jersey was perfect. It was like low. It's like watching, if you're old enough to know this, watching a computer load, and it got up to like 98%, and it stopped, and then your screen went blue, and you're like, "Oh, damn it, to hell!" You're like, "It was so close." That Jessica Biel picture was just right there.
We got some super chats, boys.
Woo!
Super chats. Woo!
Super chats.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Nate says Jack and Nico are Ginger and Boots. Hey, allegedly with that ostrich, all right? Allegedly. And can one of you buy me one of the Devil's Den, and I'll pay you back? I asked Tom that. I was like, Tom, can you just pick one up for me if I can't get it, and then I'll Venmo you back.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to do that. I know, unfortunately, I can't go to the game tomorrow because I have like 1.5 billion things to do on a Tuesday night, which is no shock to anyone.
I'm thinking of just walking off work, just go.
Do it.
To 12 o'clock, just go. Just walk.
Can you go early in the day, Sam?
No, I can't go at all. I don't know. Maybe I could play hooky. I'll figure it out. Yeah,
you'll figure it out. But I saw that sale. I didn't know if that sale was earlier in the day or if that was.
There's no info. All the information we get is all like blah. I have no idea. I really don't. Heck, I didn't even know about that that event.
Thank you, Max.
That event today with the photo shoot, or the meet the players at the arena. I didn't even know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Going
back to the team, let's look for a few things that are going to be happening. I think.
Well, hold on.
Is going to be.
Oh, I've got something positive right off the bat.
Good.
Something positive right off the bat, and I'll say it again. Max, thank you for that second super chat. Woo! Good news, everybody. It's been 8 whole days since the Devils last lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news.
It's great news. That is great, fantastic news.
If you can. I had to point that out. Sorry, I've been waiting all week to say that. I've been waiting all week to say the Devils haven't lost in 8 days, and on Tuesday, I can't even be on Game Day Live on Tuesday to say that they haven't lost in 10 days. But yeah, they haven't lost in 8 days. They're going to go. They're actually going to go 10 days without losing, or 9 days at least.
Michael Descala, the gloves are phenomenal. I want those for my beer league. I thought the gloves were great.
Oh yeah, those are sweet. Those are super sweet.
Those gloves are pretty awesome.
But that's why I wanted to go black jersey with red.
You know what though? From what I hear, that they were tossing the idea between the red and the black, and are going back and forth.
You bet, Max. You bet.
And I don't know who made the final decision, and they were like, "I go with the red." I love it. To be honest with you, I love it. I think it looks sweet as hell. There's a lot of people that are complaining. We talked about it last Sunday. I think shortly after that reveal. there's a lot of people that are complaining about the size of the logo and the size of the numbers, and I'm like, you need it to be bigger than normal because of the size of the stadium and where the press box is sitting. And they're like, oh, I get it. So that's the whole point. I don't understand the love for the Rangers one because that NYR looks stupid as hell.
I mean, it's unfortunately the best of the rest behind us.
Oh, the Islanders suck. That one looks like garbage. The Flyers just looks like a normal Flyers jersey. It's
Flyers jersey, yeah. Talk about getting
we've
screwed.
seen that before.
Talk about getting screwed.
But the Ranger one, I think if I were the Rangers, I would have done like the big, even though I think it's stupid looking, the big Liberty Crown one, like that one, like an oversized version of that would have been better.
Even though the Statue of Liberty is in the state of New Jersey,
it is definitely in the state of New Jersey.
Don't tell them that; they won't believe you.
Things, yeah. But then you pull up a map and they're like, "Oh, I don't read."
No, reading's hard.
They defecate in their pants. And by the way, speaking of the Devil's Den store, that was something you used to be able to buy there.
What a segue!
Is the Statue of Liberty wearing a Devil's jersey?
Yes,
it's said on it. My mom has that shirt actually. But anyways, all right. So segueing back into the team because we should be talking about the team itself. Because we are coming out of break, we have the expectations of this team need to be a hell of a lot higher.
High.
Expectations need to be high. This team need to jump out against the Avalanche. They need to have a strong game, and it can't be one of these like, well, we really tried hard, boys, and we really we came out there and we had 2 really solid periods. And you look at the scoreboard, and it's like 5-2 Colorado. Because if we get one of these moral victories, I'm going to personally go down there and not do anything because I can't get near Lindy Ruff, and even if I punched him, he'd probably kill me.
Oh, he would. They have to actually come out and defeat Colorado soundly, a full 60. You're right. It's got to be a full 60 from here on out for the rest of the season, and then into the playoffs if they even want to make the playoffs. It's
and Max, I can't spell to begin with. Why are you asking me to spell Segway? I can't do that.
You can ride one like the best of them, though.
Yeah, segways are cool, man. Playoffs. Corbin, come on, man. Listen, the team is not out of it. The team is within reach and
striking distance, if you will.
They need to listen. If they could have a strong second half, they could sneak into a wild card, or they could sneak into that third position in the Metro. So it depends, and that's the thing that's going to be interesting too, because at what point does Fitzy address something on this team? He's been waiting quite some time, and there's people freaking out because during the All-Star break, let's see, the Kings fired a coach. There's a major trade between the Canucks and the Flames.
That trade scares me. We'll talk about that in a second. You finish, but that trade scares me.
Yeah, there was another trade too that happened, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Montreal.
But I know
Montreal.
That's right. With
Montreal
Monahan, right?
Monahan, yeah, and the Jets. Those 2 trades in particular scare me because there was a lot of overpaying for those players. I think the Vancouver and Calgary trade.
As well.
The Vancouver Calgary trade. There was what, like 6 or 7 players involved, and only one player going to Vancouver, and the rest going back to Calgary. It's like that's not good. It's
no.
We have a first, third, 2 fifths, a sixth, and no seventh. So 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 6, 2, 5. That's 3. A third. That's 4. And a first. We have 5 picks that we could potentially trade during the lead up to this trade deadline. So we don't have a lot of pick capital there, and we do want to hold on to that because we still have to, fill the coffers with younger players too. But if we're going to go for a piece, we got to be willing to part with pieces is what it's looking like. And I feel like that someone like Adam Henrique is going to wind up being, the precedent's been set with trades being a high bar for payment on trades. So that could potentially be bad news for anyone. It may keep a team like the Devils from actually making a deal and could be the difference between making the playoffs and not because of the asking price for some of these players. Because the market's shallow. It's a shallow market. If Adam Henrique is the best player at his position out there, that's not saying a ton.
Yeah. Oh, I read that so wrong, Josh. I read that so wrong. There's an old SNL sketch of how I read that. If you're aware of that, Jeopardy sketch. Anyways, I looked down and quickly read that. I was like, whoa. Adam Henrique being one of the more appealing people that's out there on the market. Hanifin's name has been tossed around with the Devils a lot. Markstrom's name has been tossed around with the Devils a lot. I agree. You don't want to overpay for a season where you might not even make the playoffs. So you hold on to your assets and you just let it ride. And I'm not saying this will happen, but there's a possibility that Fitzgerald is looking at it and maybe, who knows? And I'm hoping this doesn't happen. And I'll knock on wood that they slip further away out of the playoff race by the time March. I forget when the heck the trade deadline is. And he looks at it and he goes, you know what? We could probably get a haul for Tyler Toffoli right now because pending UFA, he's having a pretty good year.
Toffoli. Not Toffoli. He signed long term. No, he signed an extension when he got here. Yeah.
No, he did not.
Tyler Toffoli.
Wrong answer.
Yeah,
you're right. He is. I thought. Oh no, he wanted to sign an extension. I'm sorry. He wanted to sign an extension. At some point, I thought. I could be wrong. I was also. My mind was blown by the facts of what Max just told me in the chat that the first D-line pairing in practice today. The first D-line pairing in practice today. Ball and Nemec. Oh boy. Talk about not good enough. Oh my God, that's a mistake machine and a half of a pairing there. Holy crap. Ball Nemec as your top D pair. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's where we're at, man. And like and a lot of things are relative, right? So we gave up Muhammadulin for Timo Meyer, and everybody's like freaking out. And the kid. Listen, when the Devils picked him, the amount of Devil fans that were like, "What the hell is Tommy Fitzgerald doing? Like, why are we picking this kid when there's plenty of other players that they could have gotten? We could have traded that number one pick because that was the year that we had 3 first overall picks or 3 first round picks rather. And everybody would freak out. And then you see what he did in the KHL. He started really coming along. Now he's playing in San Jose's AHL, and he comes up, he gets his first NHL point, and people were like, "We made a mistake." It's like, listen, man, some things are hindsight 2020, right? You got to give a lot up to get a player like Timo Meyer. Timo's not having a great year. It's the first year of his contract. He'll be fine. If this year has been such an anomaly with the amount of injuries and all the other crap that's going on. I don't think you can really pin it on and be like, man, Timo sucks. We made a mistake, or Jack is overrated. Like, everybody needs to just relax. Like, if this team was healthy throughout the entire year, I feel like we'd be in a hell of a lot better position. The best part is we're going into the second half. Let's hope that all the injury stuff was the first half, and we'll be one of the few teams that's leading into the playoffs with a healthy roster of guys that are looking to make a huge impact.
Yeah.
Hot take by Beer Baron.
Uh-oh. It's a Beer Baron hot take, not a Sam Moon hot take.
It's a cold, refreshing take. Brought to you by And Crew Brew. Yeah, dude. My hot take is this. The injuries happened in the first half, second half, healthiest team in the NHL. Come on.
Boom.
Let's go. Set the tone.
Yeah.
I'll keep this recording.
Yeah.
Sam always keeps the receipts. That's the one thing about Sam Wu. He keeps the receipts.
Yeah.
And we've seen the receipts for a lot of things.
And
on
if
the
I'm
back end of
quiet
this
on
podcast.
social media, that's the bad news.
Yeah.
Well,
When things go
bad news
Sam's
for us,
way, he goes through his receipts like it's tax season.
Yes.
For every single penny,
it's so
every
true.
single
Get to
dime
that
he
shoe
can get back.
box. Get to that shoe box. Start pulling out. Where am I going
And
to do
here's
my victory
VTech.
lap?
And here's hanging out with Ruff, and here's
Yeah.
Yeah.
VTech, baby. Down the stretch.
Ted, my man. What do I think of Saros? I'll answer that question. Saros would be fantastic, except Shorts Guy said something last week when he went on one of the greatest rants of his podcast history. What the hell is a good goaltender going to do when you don't have a good enough defense? Even though PK Subban said, you need a good defense, for a young defensive core like we have, they need a better goaltender to be able to help them grow because they can bail them out. So it's kind of, I agree more with what Shorts Guy's saying. Like, Saros would be great. He would cost an arm and a leg. And defensively, we are not equipped to help anybody at this point.
Yeah.
So,
And,
I mean, yes, listen. He would be awesome. I would take him in a heartbeat, but depends on what it costs.
And here's the other thing, too. There's no way that Nashville is going to trade Saros being tied with St. Louis for the final wild card spot. That's just not
I
happening.
don't know. Askarov has been killing it this year, and I think they're ready to push him up.
So that's fine, but I don't think that they're going to ride a rookie goalie without anyone to back him up going into a playoff run if they make the playoffs. I think that would be coaching-wise, I think that would just be stupid. Unless they see him as being able to get a piece that'll help push them further in the playoffs, and then you have to really trust a truly untested goalie. I'm looking for cap friendly for the
I do agree with set the tone.
Nash, but we would have to give a lot. Well, Nashville's we would have to give a lot to get Saros because he is a solid goaltender. He has 2 years left on his contract, so he's a UFA in 25-26. So we would get it's a $5 million cap hit for him, and we'd have to hope that he would sign at least for 4 years because he's 28 currently. So even still, it's like who would you give up for a bit of an older goaltender? You know what I mean? And that's kind of the question. But is Askarov even on their NHL roster because he's not listed on?
No, he's the AHL. No, he's the AHL.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think that they're going to bring in an untested goalie from the AHL up and then trade their number one guy who's been their number one guy.
I don't think so either.
It's just not. It would have been like last year us, trading VTech to give the show to Akira, because then you never know what's going to happen in year two. And we've seen, unfortunately, with Akira, he took a step back this year, and he's still trying to figure that out right now. And that's a risk to take. You don't trade that. So as much as Saros would be fantastic, and I would welcome that trade. One, the price would be too high. Two, our defensive core issues would still be unaddressed. And if you're gonna expend a lot for Saros, you're not gonna have anything left over to address your defensive woes. And it's gonna be a moot point when you have people like I froze again. When you have players like Ball passing to the other team wide open in the slot, I'm sorry, but Saros is he's going to make that save occasionally, but he's not going to make that save every time. And I can tell you that's a frustrating situation to be in right there. So
look what happened at the All-Star game. Hellebuck, bad defense.
Yep. Yeah.
That's different. Because, no, you can't. The All-Star game's uncomparable because nobody's actually really trying. They run the score up on purpose. Like, they want a 9-8 game where, they want something like that.
Well, yeah,
they were trying. They were trying, the goaltenders.
They don't try like they try in a normal game. That's for damn sure.
No, he was trying.
Well, you don't want to get because
No,
you know in that lack of a defensive scheme, you have the potential to get hurt when you try really hard. So you have to not try because you know that lack of defense could potentially harm you. If you're out there doing wild split stretches to try to make that spectacular save because you have no defense, you're going to get hurt, and that's exactly what can happen in an NHL game.
All right, thanks for blowing my point.
You're welcome, because it wasn't just a point; it was a terrible point. It was blunt.
Sorry, Sam.
Rounded. It was rounded. It was a
Damn it! I
point.
thought I was trying to create awkwardness, and then
No.
I just blew it.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
You know what?
That's
what happens.
You blew it like
Here
your
you go.
point.
You may pontificate about your point, Sam.
Okay. Times like these, I just need an and crew brew.
And crew brew.
When life is getting you down and your friends don't agree with your wild, insane points, reach for an and crew brew, because not everybody's going to agree, but we can all agree on the delicious taste of an and crew brew. I'm like a walking commercial.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. We should hire you for marketing.
It sounds like a Lucky Strike commercial from the 1950s.
It's very, very similar.
9 out of
from the same cloth.
9 out of 10 doctors
doctors
recommend you smoke Lucky Strikes. It's like, oh my God. When you hear some of those
Because if
old
you
ads, you're like, wow, they're quoting doctors
Yeah.
in a cigarette ad.
They must be right.
These Lucky
Doctor
Strikes,
lie.
they're like vitamins.
Hey, folks, listen here. Have a Lucky Strike. War's over. Hitler killed himself. Come on down, boys, and have a Lucky Strike. Like, these are the days of, like, I don't know. There's a comedian out there, Shane Gillis. If you've ever heard of him.
He's hilarious.
Dude,
I don't think I've heard him.
Funniest. He is the funniest dude in the world, and his one Netflix special. I can't do the joke because it's not really politically correct. But the day that white people will stop talking like this, when everybody stop talking like this, it's like it's hilarious. Anyways,
I got to see that now. That's the first thing I'm going to do after the podcast.
Listen, I'm going to tell you two things. There's two jokes that I laughed at in my lifetime. And I worked at a comedy club. Like, I worked at the Stress Factory Comedy Club for a little while. Like, I've seen back in the early 2000s, I saw a lot of the big comedians now when they were still up and coming, like Jim Gaffigan and Bill Burr. And they were just as funny then as they are now. But there's only been 2 times in my life that I laughed to the point where I almost threw up. One was Dave Chappelle, and one was Shane Gillis. It was both times laughing where I don't even know the sounds that were coming. First, no sound is coming out, and then I start wheezing like I'm a 90-year-old smoker, and then I'm like, I start dry heaving. It's some of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. Anyways,
you were wheezing. You were wheezing like a 90-year-old smoker because 9 out of 10 doctors recommended you take up that habit.
Yeah.
Back then, it was well recommended.
On the double.
C in it.
On the double. Hey, kid.
Come on over, boys.
Hey, kid, get my Lucky Strikes. On the double.
Get those Lucky Strikes, and don't forget about war bonds. Buy your war bonds. Oh, Lord. All right.
Boy.
We've gone fully off the trails where we're talking about...
see, this is what happens when Scotty's not here and we're the 3 of us are left to our own devices. It just goes way off the rails.
We're the original 3 amigos.
We are.
That is.
Scotty's kind of like the adult in the group.
I love when we talk about stuff like this, and I've bumped into other people and they're like, your podcast, like, you guys talk about like statistics and stuff. I'm like, no, the premise of this podcast is that we're 3 morons sitting at a bar. Like, if I'm having this conversation on air, it's the same conversation that I'd have with you if I was sitting at a bar having a pint right now. Like, you think, dude, we know enough about hockey to be able to like hold the conversation, and we're knowledgeable about the game, and like we all have experience within the game itself. And we watch enough of our own team to be able to like speak about it like confidently, but at the same time, there's certain nuances of the game or certain nuances of this team that we can't dissect and be like, oh, I know everything. I'm statistically right about this. And Sam especially makes these great points on Twitter that people think he's trolling. It's just truly how he feels. Like when he's like, well, we should stick with VTech. It's not like him just trying to arouse people to get them to like start freaking out. It's just that's how he feels. My favorite thing in the world, though, is Sam has never once, and Sam, you need credit for this, you have never once run and hid from anybody. You get more vitriol and venom spit at you on a regular basis for just saying, like, hey, guys, the Devils are going to win tonight. And people are like, I hate you, Sam. You know, blah, 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 blah. And they go after you. And never once, and people have said the nastiest, stupidest stuff on social media because there's tough guys and they can stand on their little platforms and they can say whatever they want, but they would never say it to your face. I can guarantee you that. And they say all this stuff, and Sam has never run away. He's never been like, I need a mental break from Twitter right now or from. And listen, if you do, and I'm not blaming people for doing that because sometimes it just becomes overwhelming because of all the negativity. If you need a mental break, you take it. People sometimes just can't, like it's whatever. Sam, to your credit, has never tucked his tail between his legs and run away. He stands by his takes, even when they're absolutely wrong and horrible, and he stands by his takes to the point where sometimes they come true.
You know what? and on that point, so people know what goes on behind the scenes. It's usually 100% right. Like it's usually the group text and Nick Villano pleading with me not to take it to a whole new level.
There's been a few times where you put stuff in the group text. I'm like, please.
Don't.
I know what you're trying to do. Don't.
Well, you know what? But, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? And it is true. I do have friends in the media, credible people that I text all the time on a daily basis. And sometimes I repeat what they say as part of my hot takes every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how if I say it, it is totally wrong. But if somebody else says it, like a prominent member like Chico Resch, because we both agree about the Corey Schneider thing, it's suddenly gospel. It's amazing. It depends
Haters
who
gonna
says
hate.
It.
Haters gonna hate, man.
Yeah.
That's why.
But, again, I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it's what, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever.
But I put it out there. The main thing is a lot of times, Beer Baron and Nick Villano, I know you're listening, that I like to timestamp those type of statements.
Those moments in life.
Because once it's timestamped, and I do not delete my tweets unless there's
you keep receipts. Keep receipts.
That I put it out there because it's timestamped, so when you go back, I can screenshot it and be like, yeah, I said this 2 years ago.
And you will admit when you're wrong. So I
But it doesn't happen too often though.
It's weird. It's weird. As crazy as some of your takes are, I'm like, this guy's he's out of his gourd.
Lindy Ruff.
And then
and what was the other one? Well, you know what? There was actually a fan that came up to me last season.
That's funny, Max.
Last season about beefalytics. And he said, you were complaining about that 4 years ago, and I thought you were out of your mind. But now all the stuff that you were complaining about 4 years ago is today's problems. And I was like, wow, somebody actually listened,
But in the reality, they're today's problems, but they're also 4 years ago's problems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing too, is a lot of this stuff is like it just comes back around. It's like, oh, we've been dealing with this crap for the whole time. And that's what this team is can be very Jekyll and Hyde this year, especially. Like,
Max.
I like what Max said, by the way. Haters gonna hate.
I'm gonna pin it.
Buy a I Hate Sam Wu T-shirt. Only 5 easy payments of $4.99. And where could they buy that shirt if they wanted to buy that? There, Shorts guy.
They could buy that shirt from my store that we have a link for. Sam should have a link for, but probably doesn't have it ready right now. Because I should have it ready too. But I'm looking up stats for Sam's most outlandish and soon to be years down the line correct prediction. Samu's most outlandish hot take, which is hopefully going to be sponsored by Lynn's Palace in Morristown, was that Alexander Holtz will score more goals than Alexander Ovechkin.
Yeah,
And
that one might be a little weird.
as of right now, in order for Alexander Ovechkin to eclipse, for Alexander Holtz to eclipse Alexander Ovechkin right now, he only needs 817 more goals.
There's still time. There's still time.
There's
Still time, baby.
You know what's going to happen is the Devils are going to trade him to Calgary, or they're going to trade him to Nashville, and he's going to become a 50-goal scorer, a perennial 50-goal scorer.
You know what?
This kid,
he'll be. Let's say for some reason Alex Holtz is on the Devils and he's one goal away from beating Alexander Ovechkin, and Lindy Ruff is still coaching. He'd probably bench him.
I think Lindy
You
Ruff
need one
would be
more
like
goal?
the mummified version of. He would look like he would look like just like that dude from
Weekend
what's that
at
old
Bernie's.
HBO show? No, that old HBO show. God, the Crypt Keeper
Oh yeah.
standing behind the bench. Well, Lindy, bro,
Oh, now we've gone off.
put some lotion on. You're
But
very
anyway.
ashy.
Anyway, 817 goals until Samu's major prediction comes true.
Yeah, that one might have been
That's the count.
trolling.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah, he did. he said Alexander Holtz is going to be.
That's not what I said.
Oh, he's checking the receipt.
Creep Show. Thank you, Ted. Creep Show. Or Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt.
I think
Creep Show was
I said that you'll have more goals this season. I didn't say career.
No, you might have said career.
Let's see. Now I got to scroll.
Now you're
Now I
reading
gotta
the
search for
receipts.
that.
Samu's checking the receipts.
Yeah. Could have been a misprint there.
Well, listen. Either way, the second half of the season, like he's got to give Holtz a little bit more room to breathe. He's got to be able to go up onto the third line, especially with now we're missing another key piece of this team that we won't really get into, but like Alexander Holtz will be the next
Alexander Ovechkin. Yeah, which means he's going to have the career high in goals, and he's only 817
that's
away
subject
from
to
that.
interpretation.
Yeah, I was about
okay.
to say the same thing. You could interpret that in a few different ways. Like he could be
But
powerhouse on the whatever.
So here's the thing too that we have to take into consideration. We are not with this team in practice. We are not with this team in the locker room. We are not with this team in the gym. It may be that, and we've seen Alexander Holtz try to be on this team for a couple years now. Maybe it's things like this. Maybe that's how he gets motivated when he doesn't play. Like when the coach says, "Nah, sit." Like those are the things that you just don't know unless you're behind that bench. But listen, that's the thing as a coach. You got to learn how to and what buttons to push. You know what? It's
happened to all of us that played sports.
I know.
And it's tough love. Yeah. I mean, oftentimes coaches do that, not only for motivation, but it's also a learning lesson as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, being on the fourth line sometimes sucks. I mean, I remember.
Oh yeah.
Years ago, I'd be lucky to get one shift for a game on the fourth line. It all depends, what the situation is. My freshman year in college, I got 10 minutes in the last game of the season away in Montreal. 10 minutes, my freshman year in college. In the middle of a game, 10 minutes, and not even starting, like middle of a game I went in. That was my first 10 minutes of playing college hockey. And I went to every single practice. I went to every single game. But that's just sometimes what happens.
So, wait, how the hell as a goalie did they give you 10 minutes in the middle of the game?
I got thrown in towards the end of the game, I guess. I think it was towards the end of the game. Yeah, I just kind of got thrown into the game because we were up there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen a minute my freshman year.
That kind of stuff happens, man. And the thing that you don't
Yeah.
see a lot of anymore in sports is tough love, because a lot of and not just in hockey, but hockey, I think, is one of the last sports that you see coaches have that old school mentality, like a Torts and guys like that. But nowadays they say this on the radio all the time. Is like the modern athlete needs to be coddled, and the modern athlete is like baseball and football. It's like the coaches have to be your friend, and they have to let you down easy, and like, oh, you need a day off, you can take 5. You don't need 1. You'll take 7. Like, take the month. It's fine. You'll be okay. And then, like, guys are not load management and all this other kind of crap in other sports. The NHL is like one of those rare sports where these guys are playing through some pretty tough injuries, and coaching is still that like older school mentality. I don't think it's as old as it is.
You know what it is?
But
you know what it is? This is what it is. It's a generational thing, because back in the day, and I feel old saying that. If
we're old enough, we're old enough to say
back
that.
in my day.
Yeah,
back in my day.
Back in
Take
my
that pipe
day,
out again.
My parents, if my parents tell me that I got to go to grandma's house, I didn't have a choice. Nowadays, kids have a choice. Like, you want to go to grandma's house? Same with the players nowadays. It's like they have choices now, and they always want to be in the know and know why. Whereas back in my day, it doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter. You're going to grandma's house.
Yeah,
See,
that's the way it is.
Short guy and I could talk about that all day, but that's
yeah. Because I have a slight disagreement. Knowing the why is good, because knowing the why should give a good player or a great player something that they can improve on. Knowing the why, I want to know the why so I know what I have to fix to get there.
Oh,
that's why I want to know the why.
I agree with that. I'm just saying back in the day.
That's the why I want to know.
I'm just saying back in the day, it didn't matter.
Because I
matter.
said so. Because I said so well. Listen, as a parent, like, that's a phrase that I use now. I thoroughly believe in the like. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Who's the boss in this house? Like, are you the boss here? Like, no, it's because I said so, and that's why. So in certain circumstances, it works. But yeah, on the ice, it doesn't really work, because they're like, why am I getting benched? Because I said so would not help the kid develop in a positive way. So yeah, you do need to have the why is 100% important. Like, he needs to know why he's getting only 8 minutes. I just wonder if he's getting that why.
I'm
Thanks
sure
for blowing up my point again.
See you later. I said he doesn't run and hide. He doesn't tuck his tail between his legs, and there he goes.
That's twice today.
Come on,
yeah,
twice today.
Twice.
No,
just jokes. Just jokes.
No, but I think it's a good blend of both, right? If you think about it, it's a good blend of, like, you're gonna sit, and you're gonna sit because I told you you're gonna sit, but then you have to be like, you're gonna sit because your puck management is atrocious. You're turning the puck over in our own end. You're leaving your goalie out to dry. The only reason he's not benching the defenseman is because he can't. He can't shorten that bench more than
ball.
Yeah, Kevin Ball, 100%. Don't pretend to choke on balls. So what you don't want to do is sit a defenseman, because, like, right now you don't have the liberty to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
You can't shorten that part of the bench. The forwards, you can do that. And I think he might also be using Holtz as an example. Like, yeah, the kid has a ton of potential, but look, I'm benching him, and guess who's next? You. Because in the beginning of the season, he benched Marino a few times. In the beginning of the season, he did bench some of the defensemen here and there. But guess what? He also had Dougie Hamilton for a little bit. He also had Siegenthaler for a little bit. Guys that could take on the extra minutes of having a defenseman benched. You can't trust Kevin Ball out there. If you bench Nemec, everybody's like, oh, but Nemec needs to sit down for a minute. Yeah, cool. Dude, you can't trust some of these guys. You can't. You have to let them grow through this pain. Even though, you have, what's his name? Luke Hughes on the bench the other night going, like, just saying we suck, we're garbage. It's like, yeah, you guys are playing like garbage defensively.
Yeah, no, they are. And that's really, kind of going all the way back to what we kind of got going with this. Bringing in Saros would be great, but if you don't upgrade that defense, you're going to get the same results, just with a different different player in net, and they really have to start. We really starting tomorrow or Tuesday. We have to start taking advantage of some of these games. We have to start winning these games. Calgary should be 2 points. Carolina is a 4-point game. You have to beat Carolina. Colorado, if we can steal a point, Colorado is a great team. If we can steal a point from Colorado, I'll be happy. Calgary is a must-win. Carolina is a double must-win. Seattle, you should beat. Nashville, we have to win. And not for nothing, the outdoor game has to be a win. That's a must-win at this point. Not because we're all going to be there celebrating that. This is not going to be like that outdoor game at Yankee Stadium. We're outside. We're out. Yeah, no, we have to beat the Flyers. That is a must win. And that's going to be double hard for this coaching staff because this is a young team and a lot of them have never been in a situation like this. That's going to be a massive stage. So that's going to be a bit of a struggle for this coaching staff to get this young team on this massive stage to focus on 2 points.
Max, don't you dare.
Uh-oh.
He said Miles Wood hat trick incoming, please, for the love of God. The last time they played him, he had a shorty, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he scored. I was in DC for that
shorty.
Game. I was in DC for that game.
Yeah, we gotta, and hey, we get to see the D Simone for the first time, so he'll be the third pairing with Miller. So we'll see how that goes.
But we got that first pairing of Ball and Nemec. Nothing can go wrong there.
Yeah. Well, we're at the end of the show here, and I guess we should get to the point where we're going to have our final thoughts. I'll go. My final thought is this: just this, what we have to do as a team, or what they have to do as a team, is just come out strong in the second half. Like you were just saying about all the games that are winnable and all the games they have to win, they have to start to feel that urgency. First half is in the books. It is what it is. The injuries, that excuse only goes so far. You have to come out and you have to want to make the playoffs. I feel like Nico said it best. He's like, if you want to make the playoffs, if you want to be on this team, then you can be on this team. But if not, see you later. So let's see what kind of team comes out in the second half because these boys, if they're healthy, can make some noise, but we'll find out.
Yeah. My final thought is start winning as of Tuesday because our games played is now no longer becoming an advantage. Pittsburgh has 46 games played, the Islanders 49, Philly 50, Carolina 48, the Rangers 49, and we have 47. We're losing our opportunities. You have to start winning on Tuesday. Start winning on Tuesday and stop being not good enough.
Final thoughts. This is going to be a big week. Tomorrow, we have that 2 p.m. press conference coming out of London, Ontario. We'll be watching that. I may do a Woo report afterwards. I don't know what time because I'd like to digest what they're saying. And Tuesday, Devils, Colorado. And, you still have enough talent on this team. There's still some injuries, but you got to use what you have and sell them what you got. And this is the time to grow. Is Tom Fitzgerald going to make some big moves if the price is right? But right now, the way the team is, who knows if they're going to be buyers or sellers on deadline day. But the team is still in it. This team, as of now, is still in it, and there's still time to surge and surge ahead. Because you look at Philadelphia right now, I don't know their goaltending situation right now at all.
Not
but,
good.
It affects all teams. So
Carter Hart wasn't really getting a ton of the starts. I don't think so. Philly could end up benefiting from that.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
But we shall see. Want to thank all those tuning in. Just remember to go to joinourcrew.com. We've had well over 100 people signing up to joinourcrew.com. Our big tailgate at MetLife Stadium parking lot. Parking lot M2 as a Marty 2. That's where we'll be, but please sign up because that could change at a moment's notice. If they don't allow us to park there, we won't know. But
Yes, which is correct. Plus, we're going to be giving out other information, too, along the way leading up to that. So you might want to check those emails and see what's in them. Open them up and read them. Don't do what I do and just look at the subject and move on. But read them because there's going to be some other information that will be available to you and for you.
Sure, Scott, did you get my email?
If I did, I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. All right. Till next time, let's go Devils.